You suck.
Yeah, well, so does your mom, but you don't hear me say anything.
All right.
Check it.
I agree. That's what you say when you agree with somebody, but you don't really have no other further thing to say. I agree.
Dutch Chattahoochee filming, Paris, France, 1974, take 1.
To Kill a Loved One, scene 4. What do you mean, to kill a loved one? What's that about? Well, long...
That's the title of this movie.
To Kill a Loved One.
A loved one.
Yeah.
Why
So
has that movie not been made?
I want to make a movie called To Kill a Loved One. Like, oh, so you were a murderer? No.
Let me get some bump music. I don't really know. I'm just gonna go up with this one. See if I can hear that.
Back
I have
six.
to wear protection for the show today. Dutch Chattahoochee. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, tired, but I had like I said, I had a fun time at the show on Sunday. I drove to Austin, saw some cool bands.
Sheckies. I don't know about the Sheckies.
The Sheckies are cool. I knew them, so it was 4 bands. It was the Sheckies, it was the Reeks, it was Dropped Out, and then it was the Capitalist Kids. I knew the Capitalist Kids and the Sheckies, but the other 2 bands I did not. But they were really cool. I'll say that.
Nice.
The Reeks were like kind of like a little political band. They like to give a little speech here and there before each song, kind of thing.
Your musical chops.
Every time I go to shows, dude, I'm like, dude, I want to start a band so bad again.
What's going on with the outside? ATG got 200.
Oh yeah, there are 200
That
episodes.
was sick.
That's crazy. If you think about it, there's what 52 weeks in a year, and you're doing one every week. So like, what was that 4 years about?
It's like 4 years. More
It's
than
a lot
4 years of just rolling out gold.
We're like not even halfway there.
Gold and gold edits. And
I think it helps too. Like they keep it short, you know.
yeah, no, short helps.
Like that's good for people, like outside people, because a lot of times people don't want to sit there and watch like an hour and a half, 2 hour show like we do.
Yeah. But we got our graphics now, so we can tease our segments and then let people know so they can just check out and come back when they want that one gold segment.
And I wrote down the font and everything that I used.
Yeah.
So that way I wouldn't be like, fuck, because I do that a lot where I'll make something.
Yeah.
I'll use something and I forget the font. And I'm sure you do the same thing.
Yeah.
Where you do something and you're like, fuck, what font did I use?
Guess we don't have this guy.
I hope it looks okay, you know. But
damn, bud. What's up? What's your segment? So you just tease it for the masses.
well, I have 2. I don't know what order they're going to be in, but they're the segments regardless. So one of them I want to talk about. So I saw that Sixto Sanchez, the one from the Marlins. He's a little kind of hefty now, overweight a little bit. So I want to talk about that and just overweight in general in baseball and bigger dudes, what we think of that whole thing. And
yeah,
then,
I like that one.
And then, like, the second one is mainly baseball All-Star Game, but All-Star Games in general, if they matter. Because sometimes I hear people saying they're pointless and they should just stop making All-Star Games. But I beg to differ. And we'll definitely discuss why. And I will give my opinions as to why I think All-Star Games are fucking awesome.
All-Star Games are awesome. They used to do 2 for a number of years.
The only thing that I wish baseball would change about their All-Star Game is they would rock the team they were playing for.
Yeah, just bring their jerseys.
I love that.
You do that. Yeah, instead of the All-Star uni. That was cool. I like that.
Instead of having like the jerseys, because sometimes I like the All-Star Game jerseys, but they're kind of they're okay.
Yeah.
Like last year's, it was because they were in Seattle. It was like Seattle themed kind of, but they were just they were okay.
I like throwback stuff so much that if you did a specific All-Star Game jersey, if you just made all All-Star Games throwback, that'd be sweet.
Like one of my favorite throwback jerseys is the old like 80s like A's jersey, that yellow and green. The yellow jersey with like the green stripes on the side and the A on it.
Oh, you know what? I got one other tease on. I just thought of something. You'll like this.
What's your tease?
Oh, well, no, hit your segments and I'll hit mine. I got one more throw in.
And those were just those 2.
Those 2? Okay.
I know like those were we might talk about those for a little while, so I didn't want to have too many segments and eat up a lot of time. But yeah.
Yeah, I'll keep it short because I'm kind of riffing on the Sixto. I looked up in the layman database the largest by poundage MLBers. And some of the dudes like modern day are what you would expect. Like Judge is up there. Judge is like 270 pounds.
There's that guy from I think he plays for the Mets still, that Daniel Vogelbach or whatever.
Yeah, Vogelbach. Vogelbach's not even really making a dent though because he's not that tall.
No,
I think once you're tall,
though.
you pack on pounds. But I got the 2 heaviest dudes ever to play Major League Baseball per the layman database. And then I was like, I wonder what's on the flip side of that because we all know about Eddie Goodell, the midget that played. He was like 3 foot something. But I was like, I wonder if there was like any 4-footers or like real, like who were the shortest major leaguer? Because like Goodell was a stunt. Like that was just straight up publicity stunt.
Altuve, he's the modern like haha guy.
Yeah, but see,
he's
like
so little.
He's still like 3 inches taller than dudes I found.
Which is crazy because like in terms of professional athletes, like okay, in society, I'm 6 foot tall, 6'1". I'm a normal sized dude. But in pro athlete world, I'm tiny.
Yeah.
Which is insane. Like I'm shortest, like yeah.
I got so that's I'm just going with you on that one. My other segment is like the biggest dudes and the smallest dudes. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 dudes that are 5'3", and I'm gonna run through them super fast when we get to it.
Are we talking about current players?
No, there's a
I was
lot
gonna
of dudes
say,
from
I was like
1800s.
I was gonna say, since when do we have 5'3" pro baseball players?
But a couple of them, like a lot of these dudes, just played for like 1 year in like 1874. So, but like one guy had a funny name. But I'm just gonna go through some short guys. But there's about 3 guys that had really interesting baseball reference pages. So that's one of my segments. The other one is just like going with you on like an all-star game and riffing with you. But the other maybe hot topic that I want to throw out there was everybody's pooping all over Anthony Rendon. Because he's like, dude, it's a job for me. I don't really.
Yeah, I have a take on that too.
So that's the other the Rendon hot take. Because I didn't hate on the dude as much as. I get it, dude. We've all had regular jobs. And if you're paying me that kind of dollars to show up at the ballpark. But
before we get into it,
segment.
Before we get into it, I want to say this now so I don't forget. That may be true, but you as a professional athlete, you don't say it.
Yeah, there's a table manner etiquette there.
Yeah,
because you can think that all you want, but just for the guy that's out there doing, working at a liquor store or whatever, just don't say it for that guy.
Yeah, I understand it. Maybe just a job to you, but you don't say that because then, yeah, we'll talk about it. I don't want to, take out the segments for later, but yeah.
I just want to highlight the Spitfire wheels, and then I'm trying to put together a little video that highlights the graphics on the new deck that has the Seguin River Monsters and ATG.
Don't forget to be like, hey guys,
MiLB
what's
Hatbilly.
up?
Yeah.
That should be in the Hall of Fame.
That's I'm gonna skate it. That'll last me a good year unless I bust it.
No one needs to tell me how to get down, but won't somebody show me how to get back up?
But yeah, dude, kick it off. Let me give you some more segment music.
We'll talk about Sixto first.
Sixto? Okay, that's
not as exciting as the All-Star Game one.
All right, let me give you some tunes there.
Here's some little notes that I jotted down about this guy.
Yeah.
Before we get into it. So, I guess, okay, I need to zoom in my things so I can see, but yeah. So he's been hurt since 2021? He hasn't been playing since then. Because of injuries. So he's gained a little weight. 2 years ago, he was up to 260 pounds. And since then, he's lost, 46 pounds.
Yeah.
But he's still a little hefty. He's got a little gut. And people are talking shit about him. And I'm like, dude, it's fine.
I can see the light of a clear blue morning. I can see
ATG Baseball, the present and future of classic roster creation. We are here for you.
Sixto's such a cool name because you don't see it that much, but it's definitely come up in baseball a handful of times. Are you the sixth child when you get that name, or is that always?
I love that name.
Kids?
I love that name. He was like when he was, what was it, 2020? I think was his rookie year. Dude he was good, and he got, he's been hurt, but he's trying to come back.
Sixto Lescano was a Pirate, I believe. No, he's a Brewer.
But like
he was Pittsburgh at the end of his career, but
I have no problem if you can perform. If you put on a little weight, so the fuck what?
It's the best part about baseball, man. Body shapes don't matter.
I mean, I started thinking, I was like, okay, if he doesn't perform like he was before he got hurt, then okay, that might be an issue. But if he comes back and he puts up some decent numbers and he's doing okay, it shouldn't be an issue.
Let's see how he's young, dude.
Yeah,
he's 25 years old.
Yeah, and he's been hurt for what, last 3 years? Yeah.
Let's look at some minor league stats. See how filthy he was. A lot of these Dominican guys get signed when they're like 17. Yeah. Guess when he got signed? 16. Everybody's just, you're a sophomore. Like I was a sophomore trying to get a driver's license. This dude's playing for the Phillies organization.
He's like, that's the cool thing about baseball, man. They you can get signed early as fuck. I mean, I know other sports are like that too, but you don't see football signing a 16-year-old.
Oh, dang, man. Check out. So you want to see some, I mean, I've seen some insane stats, insane pitching stats. Freaking Sixto Sanchez, 16. All right, you're in the Phillies organization. But he goes 17-year-olds. He's in the Gulf Coast Rookie League. And this ain't like, dude, this ain't like you just got like 10 innings and put up these numbers. This is a 54-inning snapshot. This earned run average is 0.50. Not even a 1 ERA. Sub 1 ERA over 50 innings in the Gulf Rookie League. So that's all prospects. That's insane. He gave up 3 earned runs in 54 innings.
He was a good, like, he was a badass rookie.
Dang. I mean, you can say minors or whatever. I was like, dude, even that was beer league, dude. That's insane.
So think about it. He's what, 25? 26? So you could say, oh, I've been in the fucking pro system for 10 years, and I'm only 26.
Dude, he's got great minor league numbers, dude. He's like...
But the thing is, like, man, with his weight, as long as it's not an issue when he's trying to make a comeback, right? He's been hurt for 3 years.
Yeah.
Like, if he performs, putting on a little weight doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Because, like, I think sometimes weight issues, people make a big deal about it when it shouldn't.
You shouldn't. And honestly, with this dude's minor league numbers, whatever prospect you believe that guy to be was, it's like, dude, whatever. You want to be Bartolo reincarnated? Like, this guy might be a hell of a pitcher. So, that's good.
There's arguments that, like, well, he wasn't a big guy, so I don't know how he'll handle the weight gain. I'm like, let the man go on the field. Let him go on the diamond, perform, and then let's wait until see what happens.
It's the beauty of baseball, man.
I mean,
it's not a bodybuilding contest.
Huh?
It's not a bodybuilding contest. We don't care how cut up you are.
And then on the other side, people's like, yeah, this thing about baseball is so easy to play. There's way out of shape people. Is like, they may be a big dude, but they're not out of shape.
Dude, they're not out of shape. You're built for something very specific in that sport.
I know John Kruk was kind of a big guy. He was a big guy, but he wasn't out of shape.
Krukster, man, could hit, dude. It's just the hand-eye coordination. Get on base, win ball games.
Those people that say that, they're like, oh, they're a big guy. Anybody can stand on the first base and just catch a ball. Okay, do it. Man. Do it. Like, if someone hits a ball right at you, you're going to get out of here, dude. You know, yeah. But, yeah, I don't have a problem with the weight gain.
Dude, I like that. I like Sixto. I'm rooting for Sixto.
Oh, I am too. I like the Marlins.
It looks like he's got...
I mean, they're not like a favorite. They're not like my top team, but I like them.
He's got some years left, and he's got some very interesting minor league numbers, but his 17-year-old season was unbelievable. Beyond unbelievable. I mean...
Yeah, he was...
I was going to look up, make sure that camera's still recording. Just like run out of time.
Records. Ever since the inception of the MLB The Show series from the MLB #year series, so when it was from 98 through 2005, the record books have not changed much since. Given as the game does a not so great job of really separating stats the way it should take the minor leagues. Minor league stats disappear after a single year. As a matter of fact, they disappear after the season is over. Postseason stats never show up on any player cards. Hell, all the stats disappear after the season is over, which is really disappointing.
That's a good one, Bud. Do you want to hear about a Tampa Bay Ray who, according to the Layman database, was the second heaviest guy ever to be in the major leagues?
I'm always down for a Tampa Bay Rays guy.
Tampa Bay Ray. You familiar with? I don't know if this can't be his birth name. Let's look him up. Jumbo Diaz. Jumbo Diaz.
The name doesn't ring a bell. No.
He wasn't there a whole long time. This is 2014 to 2017, so like Carl Crawford years, I think.
Carl Crawford was before that.
Before even 2017. Let's see who was on the 17 Rays. This was the Evan Longoria, Corey Dickerson, Kevin Kiermaier. Steven Souza was your right fielder that year. He hit 30 bombs. Logan Morrison.
Kevin Kiermaier, yeah, he was
Logan
cool.
Morrison was your first baseman. Dude hit 38 bombs that year. That was an insane team. Did you guys go to the playoffs that year? Third in the AL East. You guys were 80 and 82 with Kevin Cash in 2017.
So the Tampa Bay Rays, ever since their 2008 World Series run, I think we've had the most playoff, not wins, but like appearance or something record-wise since then.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly what the stat was, but it was like one of the top winning. It was like the winningest team since then, I think, something like that. But
you guys had Blake Snell that year. He was 5-7.
Yeah, Blake Snell. I like Blake Snell, man. Is he still unsigned?
He's still unsigned. I guess all these guys are repped by Scott Boras.
Scott Boras.
Anyway, that's an interesting 2017. But of the people you had in 2017, you had Jumbo. And Jumbo Diaz, I don't know if that's like his birth name. I don't see anything else in Baseball Reference. It doesn't say it is.
Maybe his name
full
is
name,
Jumbo.
I'm sorry. Jose Rafael Diaz. Jumbo Diaz.
Jose Diaz.
And he's still pitching to this day. He's like 39 or 40 playing in the Dominican League.
I don't know why. I can't remember this guy.
He hardly had any innings for you.
I was going to say, doesn't ring a bell.
Let's just do, he started with Cincy. If I go to the overview, 3 years in Cincy, got as much as 60 innings. Not terrible. I mean, like a 4 ERA. Then he was like a 3 ERA. Then he went to the Rays. You guys used him 30 innings pitched, 5.7 ERA, and then he was out of the show. But dude weighs 6'4", 315 pounds. Jumbo Diaz, second heaviest guy according to the database. Now we go for numero uno over to MiLB Hatbilly. This is an Oriole. Dude's name, Walter Young. You have to ask Jake if he knows Walter Young. Walter Young, 2005. 1 year, made it to the show. 6'5", 320 pounds.
Jeez.
It's a big boy.
That's, yeah. That's a big dude. That's a big dude.
The Pirates drafted him out of high school in the 31st round. He's jacking some homers in A-ball, AA. Like, dude had some pop, but when he never really regained that pop. I don't know if he had an injury, but Baltimore had him in 14 ball games. But that's all it takes to make that Layman database. 14 ball games in the show is a 320-pounder. And he hit 303, by the way.
Sometimes people are just born big.
Just like, a big dude.
They're hefty, and they just stay hefty their whole life, which isn't an issue or a problem. You know?
But, yeah, dude. And I don't think it is a problem. That's what I'm saying. You can be any size. I mean, the dude could have caught on. He wasn't a bad hitter. He bounced all around. And then ended up playing some independent ball for at least 3 years, bouncing around there. But Walter Young, man, an Oriole, holds the #1 spot in the database for heaviest dude ever put on a Major League uniform. Think of that.
Yeah, I mean, that's I've never heard this one that big before.
I mean, you can be the Henry Aaron's, most homers, all that, but they have all your data, all that stuff. But that's like #1. The third place is CC Sabathia. He was 300.
Yeah, he was. I never thought of him like as overweight, but yeah, he was a definitely.
He's just a big dude.
Yeah,
he's just a big.
What do they say? Country strong, I guess they say.
Yeah, CC Sabathia is just a big human being. But beat out by Walter Young and Jumbo Diaz. So there you go. That's the heaviest guy ever played Major League Baseball, Oriole. I like that.
Baltimore.
Bryce, you, of course, in Canada are legal drinking age, so a celebratory Canadian beer would seem to make sense after a hit like that. You got a favorite beer, and
question,
are you?
It's illegal to drink in the States at 19. Why don't you ask something else?
Not in Canada.
I'm not answering that.
Ask something else.
Bryce,
That's a clown question, bro.
That's my segment. Do you want me to go down some weird, really small dudes?
Oh, like tiny short dudes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to hear about the Jose Altuve's of the world.
Okay, so I'm going to run through because there's a lot, and I don't want to commit that kind of time to all these dudes. But the way, and this is why I'm encouraging, like, just kind of I'm starting to mess with the layman database, which is like that Sabre course I'm taking where you have to, like, learn R programming.
Dude, some of that shit you explained to me, I'm like, I would never be able to figure this shit out.
But you could sort. I figured out finally the proper commands to sort by, like, weight. That's how I got those two dudes. And then I was like, okay, I know about Eddie Goodell, super short midget, publicity stunt. But were there dudes, like, legitimately you put on the field to play, not as a publicity stunt, who was the shortest dude? I couldn't find anybody shorter than 5'3". There was no 5'2" guys in the database. One guy was listed wrong. Who was that? Tom Healy. They had him listed at 55 inches. Tom Healy's not 55 inches tall because that would put him at like 3-4 feet something. He's actually 5'5".
That's what I was
So I found an error in the layman database, but I think if you look at a database that long, you're gonna go cross-eyed.
If you're 3'4" playing pro baseball, holy shit.
One dude, and I know you like this because you're awesome at names. One dude's 5'3", 155, played in 1911. Guess what his name was? Stubby Magner. Stubby Magner.
They names back then were so cool because they were just so like, what's the girl's name? Gertrude.
Yeah,
I always like that name, Gertrude.
there was so Stubby Magner. There's a couple of dudes that were Ivy League. I was surprised these are all like 1800 guys. So maybe there were like no colleges in America, only Ivy League colleges. One guy, Bill Finley, 5'3", 170, dude. He might have been kind of pear shaped.
Yeah, 5'3".
You know how you think? You know how you think like?
I'm trying to imagine what that would look like as a 5'3" person.
You know how you think like, oh man, they're just like everybody sucked back in the 1800s. Nobody could, like everybody would hit 400 now because they're just raking. Well, Bill Finley sure did, and he was 5'3", 170, and in 1886 he managed to hit 182. So it wasn't like he was raking.
No, 182. It's not good.
Frank Shannon, 5'3", 155. He hit 157. I can't remember what year that. He was an 1800 guy too. He went to Harvard.
Maybe there wasn't a lot of options for players.
There wasn't, dude. I'm trying to find. One of these guys had.
Like, you know how to hit a ball? I'm not good at it, but yeah, sure. Here you go.
The worst batting average I found for the 5'3" dudes was Bob Emmerich, who batted 0.83.
That shit's hilarious, dude.
But it was a small sample size, and he wasn't an 1800 guy. He was a 1923 Bob Emmerich. So I was like, I wonder if they have minor league stats. And they did have minor league stats on Bob Emmerich.
0.83.
And for a 5'3" dude, he had a pretty good minor league career. He was like a solid minor league player. So that's just kind of like a run through on some of the dudes. But the three dudes totally stood out. And I'm trying to think about what order to go in. I guess I'm going to go in this order. The first dude that was hella interesting, because a lot of these guys only played for a year, didn't have much stats. They were just like up there for a season, sucked, and then gone. 153 dude by the name of Larry Corcoran was 5'3", 127. And people like talk shit like, oh, this guy's a Cy Young. The guy pitched every day or whatever. The guy compiled all these stats. You can say what you want about 1800s baseball, but dudes were trying to get people out. And Larry Corcoran was 5'3", 127. Dude, he had some sick stats. He was like Pedro Martinez level ERA and whip. He was like an ERA like 1. Like, this is when dudes were just apparently sucking and you're just thumping the ball. Like, he had 1 ERA. His career win-loss was 177 wins and 89 losses. That's fucking awesome.
Not bad. Not bad.
He had his rookie year, he was a flipping 40-game winner.
Modern baseball, these pitching records for wins, no one's ever going to touch them anymore. Because, like, pitchers don't pitch as long as they used to.
Yeah.
They're like 5 innings. I don't know. That's kind of stretching it. need to pull him.
And it's like I said in our previous shows, people are like, oh, Larry Corcoran was 5'3". If you put him in 2024, he's not going to win 42 games. And I'm like, yes, he is. Absolutely is.
I hate that fucking argument when people's like, baseball was different then. Maybe, but it's still the same concept. Throw a ball really hard and fast and try to hit it.
Larry Corcoran was changing speeds on you or
So
something.
if you can hit a baseball, you can hit a baseball. You will adjust. You know what I'm saying?
He had some Pedro Martinez years. If you want a fun baseball reference page, check out Larry Corcoran back in the 1880 season, 1882 season are insane. Second dude I want to talk about as I'm moving along, Yo-Yo Davalillo. His full name was Pompeo Davalillo, and he had a bro that played Major League Baseball, but Yo-Yo Davalillo was 5'3", 140. He was the most modern era dude that I've found. Go ahead, bud.
He has his what's his last name again?
Davalillo. If I'm turning the double L into a yeah.
It reminds me of that Del the Funky Homo Sapien song, Mr. Dabalina.
There you go.
Kind of. I was like, what, did you say Dabalina? Is that what he said?
Yeah. Pompeo Davalillo, if I'm saying that right, 5'3", 140, played in 1953 for the Washington Senators.
So he's more modern. I mean, not modern, but he's more recent than those other dudes.
He had some injuries, and apparently, according to his Wikipedia page, he had fear of flying. But he went on to be like a player internationally because he's from Venezuela and did a lot of coaching. And dude was inducted into the Venezuelan Hall of Fame in 2006. And let me tell you about the Venezuelan Hall of Fame. That ain't no joke. There's some good-ass baseball down there. So
took him a long-ass time to get in there. Holy shit.
Yeah. I mean, probably, well, he might still be alive. I don't know. But that's cool that for like the most modern day super short guy that I found, Davalillo had himself he's a baseball lifer, baseball man, baseball career all around the game his whole life, and then eventually Venezuelan Hall of Famer. But fear of flying, I respect that. My kids had that issue this last week.
Fear of flying makes sense because you're way up there. You hear about crashes, you don't know.
Yeah.
I will. Speaking of planes and flying, real quick, I will argue like, oh, you're more safe in the air than you're on the ground. I was like, I don't know.
How about that?
Yeah. Like you may. If this plane goes down, good luck.
And people are going crazy on planes now?
Yeah.
I don't know about all that.
Anyway.
Are you an Orioles fan looking forward to the playoffs, but there's grime on your ball cap that predates us being good? Hell, it probably predates Adley Rutschman's senior prom. This also works for Blue Jays caps, Expos caps, or maybe you still pull for the 70s Braves. We're going to clean up those white hats today. First, make sure your sink is clean or you're just washing your hat in the trash you ate last week. Fill her up with cold water, a splash of laundry detergent, a little bit of baking soda, mix it up, and then just submerge the cap in it a while. Be creative while you do this. I can't tell you to pretend it's John Angelos, but I can tell you to not pretend it's John Angelos. Take it out, scrub it up with an old toothbrush, and repeat this process until you're looking sharper than blue crab claws. Go Birds!
And then my last 5'3" dude, I liked this one the best because his career was so weird. This guy's name was, and I'm going to like do little snapshots, like do the little snip sketch and just put the JPEG files on the thing so it can just like paste this guy up there. Actually, there's one other guy. You'll have to look at this guy, Mike McCormick, 5'3", 155, had the funniest ass baseball reference pick of them all. I digress. Jess Cortazzo. He's like Moonlight Graham, one at bat in Major League Baseball.
Home run, right? Home run?
Nope, 0 for 1, grounded out to third, pinch hit in the 5th inning. But the craziest thing about that dude's baseball reference page, Jess Cortazzo, like, you know how you work into the minors and then you like finally make it up and then you make it to the show and then you get sent back down. It never happens. But at least you had that one moment.
Yeah.
This dude's career is ass backwards. His page begins at age 18, Chicago White Sox, 1 game, 1 at bat, 1 plate appearance, everything zeros. So his first appearance in professional baseball was at the major league level. Everything after that, from like age 19 all the way, like I think he played till his 30s, all minors. So isn't that weird? Like your first thing was 1 major league at bat. Nothing, never again. All downhill.
Didn't Bryce Harper go straight to the pros?
Yeah, some dudes
Right?
like Olerud, Harper. Like I don't know if Harper did. I know the fireballer for the Senators did. What's his from San Diego State? Name fails me because I'm losing my marbles.
Oh, you're talking about the guy that's hurt, the pitcher guy, Strasburg. Strasburg, yeah.
Strasburg, I think, went straight to the show maybe. But there's been like a handful of dudes who did it. I don't think that was the case with just Cortazzo. I can't remember what year that was. Let me look him up. But his baseball reference page is kind of nuts.
Sometimes now though, like they take these prospects and stuff and draft their players and keep them in the minors for way too long. Like, come on, dude. Like, put them in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That was in 1923, Major League debut, 1 game. Moonlight Graham style, never came again. But he played the minors all after that.
Was he? Did that page say anything about like was he like a top guy? Like did they want like was he?
I mean he's 5'3". I bet it was like it might have been like people were sick or they just pulled him off of like some college. Like we need a guy, we need a backup or whatever. He knew somebody. Like there's got to be a story behind it. He goes and plays like Class B, Class C, A ball, C ball. He has all these minor league seasons up until he's like 34 years old. Never sniffs the pros again. Well, highest maybe is Double-A in Toledo, but like that's so crazy to me.
At least you can say I've technically played pro baseball. Maybe for 1 game, but I did it.
That's how they do it. They say they give you the number, or whatever, like the whatever 1,000th player in Major League Baseball history or something like that. And he made it, dude. He's a major leaguer. Got an AB, grounded out to third. So those are my random segments. I looked at a little bit of college stuff, but I don't have full segments on it. I mean,
as a teenager, you also make decisions, and one of these can be life-saving. Don't let drugs ruin your ability to make decisions.
Take a big leaguer's advice.
Make the right choice. Say no to drugs. Baseball cares about you and your family.
Bozier Paris, Emil's still crushing homers, and UTSA's 2 and 3.
Sidetracking from baseball real quick. Speaking of like San Antonio stuff, do you see that college basketball fight between Incarnate Word and some other team?
Yeah, dude. Dude's got suspended hardcore.
I saw that. I was like, I thought Incarnate Word, I didn't know they were fighters.
Malice in the Palace, man. Dude's just smack talking.
Malice in the Palace. I remember that. And I will say this forever. I am on the side of the Pacers. Fucking Steven. Yeah. I love Steven Jackson. I think he's a cool dude, and I loved his playing when he was playing. But as a person, here's what he said on a podcast I was listening to. What would you like? That's their job, and like at any job, you don't throw shit at people. So I would have went into the crowd too. I'd have beat someone's ass.
I think that should be commonplace because you read those old books where like dudes would like knock out an umpire and get suspended for 5 games, or go into the stands and like challenge people to fight. I think Babe Ruth did that once. He's like, let's go.
I mean, Ron Artest was already at the time mentally fucked up anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, if someone throws some shit at me, I want to go do something about it too. And I don't want to hear this argument of, well, they're professional, they should know better. No. Because that means people can just keep taking advantage of you.
Players should be allowed to go into the stands and whoop somebody's ass with literally no suspension.
Like, say you're in the batter's box and getting ready to go bat, and you're just doing your thing, and someone's like, hey, you suck, fuck you, and they throw something at you.
Like, how the ushers will go down and, like, or the cops will break it up. The player gets suspended, his jersey's all ripped, and, like, you're out of the game and suspended. What it should be is he goes up there, pummels some fan, and then, like, the cops come, separate him, and then they'll be like, I can't believe that's happened. That guy getting thrown out of the game. And then the usher should be like, yeah, but what'd you say, bro? He's like, oh, well, I told him he sucked and I banged his wife. I was like, okay, well, dude, you got your ass kicked. Yeah. So you can leave the stadium or you can just shut your mouth because we're going to let him come up in the stands and just whoop on you again.
I mean, there's a difference of like, oh, you suck, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. But the minute you start attacking me personally, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're throwing something at me, then I should be allowed to retaliate. I was when I saw that happen, I remember I was like, yeah, I'm on their side. I had no problem with it.
If you wouldn't pop off to Aaron Judge, like standing behind him in line in a subway, where you could turn around and just like...
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. You're not going to do it to him in real life. Why would you do him at the game?
If I was commissioner and I should be the next commissioner, I'll just let him do it.
Like did you see that fucking thing about the current MLB commissioner was like, yeah, in 2029 I'm going to retire. Well, okay.
Yeah,
like,
dude. I was like, that's like a prison sentence, man. You can't tell me that long. Like, if you would have told me in 2028, I could have mentally coped. But now I'm like an insane person in a padded room.
The first time I saw that article, I misread it. I thought it said he was retiring now. I'm like, all right, new commissioner. Check it out. But
it's horrible.
I misread it, and I was like, oh, he's doing it at the end of his term, which is 2029, right?
Yeah.
He's got a way to go. 5 years?
Yeah, I got to find this. I every once in a while, this gal does pretty good stuff on Twitter. And she was like, who do you think's going to be the next commissioner? I was like, dude, it's going to be somebody who worships Lucifer. Pretty sure. You know?
It's going to... What was that guy that created that fucking religion, Satanism, that had that black house and shit? He died, but...
Yeah, no.
Maybe a descendant of his will come and be the commissioner. We're like... See, if I was a commissioner, I would have that one rule. If someone throws something at you, I will allow my players to go in the stands and handle their business.
Oh. I would totally do that. This is funny. Like
That'd be a rule.
One thing, Kenny Lofton, the real Kenny Lofton, I believe, liked one of my tweets. Of course, I was talking about how awesome he was, but he liked it.
Yeah.
But Kelly Franco Throop does some like baseball stuff on Twitter that's pretty cool sometimes. And she's like, who do you think is going to be the next commissioner? And that's what I said. I go, if you ever seen The Ninth Gate, remember The Ninth Gate? You see that with Johnny Depp?
No.
Oh, dude, you should check that movie out. It's messed up.
Dickie Thon's the next MLB commissioner.
He is in that film, and it's all about this dude who like has like the book where he can communicate with Lucifer, and it's like all the satanic stuff. And I'm like, the guy who wanted that book, his name was Boris Balkan, and he was all about Satan and like becoming a servant of Lucifer. I was like, that's pretty much your candidate for the trajectory from like Selig to Manfred to like Satan worshiper. Like that's like, and like on our little graphic, you should just say Satan worshiping commissioner next. That's something like that. Probably.
Pop up like those 90s commercials for cars was like prices. But you have Satanism commissioner like flashing and big.
I mean, it seems to make sense. Trajectory trending is going that way.
I always think when I talk about these ridiculous MLB rules, there's that picture you have of that guy on that rancher with the beer in his hand, sitting on a fence, kind of just staring out into space. That's what I think of. That's how I feel about some of these stupid MLB rules. Like kind of like, well,
it's 1,000-yard stare, man.
Yeah, you just don't know what to fucking think of it.
Drink it away into obliteration.
The Coors Cowboy, as I call him. Well, technically, I guess he is a Coors Cowboy.
Yeah,
I like that photo though.
That's is what it is, and I guess the violence is kind of a good segue to Rendon, though, right? Because remember how he went last year up into Oakland and like grabbed some fan. He was calling him I don't think he was calling him a bitch or something. And he just like grabbed him by the collar. He's like, dude, you want to go?
I mean,
I was like, good to go.
Again, Rendon was in the right. Like, I'm sorry. And if you say that they should act better, no.
No?
No.
I mean,
I hate this whole thing of you're a professional, act like it. Why so you can just take shit from people all the time?
Yeah.
Fuck no, dude.
It's like Barkley said, we're not role models. Like, dude, these are real people out there.
That's what I'm saying.
You make them angry enough, they should come up there and whoop on you.
Okay, let's look at it from the fan point. If somebody was doing that to you, how would you react? Would you say, "Oh no, I'd walk away"? No. I for one talk shit to people, and I know I'd be real bad about interacting with fans. I would go in there like, "Fuck you. How dare you call me that?"
Yeah.
What's your fucking problem with me?
Some dudes gotta have. I mean, some dudes are gonna be chill, but some dudes are gonna be like Albert. No, it was a cool one. You remember when Albert Bell threw a ball and like hit a fan, and it wasn't like he was 10 feet away, dude. He was like out and left, like warming up, playing catch, and the dude was like popping off, and he just like unleashed one and hit the fan. I was like, that's awesome. Because like, what are your chances of missing? Like he actually hit the dude. It was a long throw. I don't know. I wish there was video of it. That'd be so great.
I know for a fact we're not the only people who support athletes going up to the fans. There's no way.
You ever see the hockey fights, dude, where they like go over the plexiglass, get the hockey sticks, it's just like a melee in the stands?
Dude, I remember. I don't watch hockey. I know a little hockey because I play the video game sometimes. But I remember what's his face from I don't know if he still plays for him, but the guy from the Islanders, John Tavares. Dude, that dude could fucking hit. He'd check your ass in the glass real hard, man. Dude.
That was like when I was in high school, like the Seattle Thunderbirds were in I think it was the Western League or whatever that minor league was. And they had a huge playoff brawl with Tri-Cities where I think dude was in a penalty box or whatever. And then the fans were like all pouring beer on him. And he's like, enough of this. He just goes over the plexiglass.
I think it's awesome.
And then I don't know if it was the penalty box. It could have been just they were messing with their little bench. And then all the dudes like came over the bench. But then there's like that stick rack right there. And some fans reached in and grabbed the sticks and started swinging them. And then the hockey dude was just chaos. I was like, that's a good night at the hockey game. Didn't expect that, but I mean, a little violence makes you feel alive.
It makes you feel it makes you feel alive.
Yeah,
I think
nobody died.
I think it's cool, man.
Walked away from it.
When I see it happen, I'm not like the first thing I think is, oh my god. I'm like, well, the person that the athlete who went to the stand, that guy must have been saying something.
Yeah.
Now there are instances where the fan didn't say anything and the athlete's just having a bad day, but majority of the time it's someone being like saying something really stupid.
Yeah. And question for you, Dutch. Do you think the fan that took like a Albert Bell fastball from left field to his chest or face ever talk smack at an MLB game again?
Not the slightest.
He probably didn't. So that's like
or he laid off of it for a couple years. Kind of like laid down.
Learned a lesson. That's good stuff right there.
Because I think sometimes people forget that athletes are people too, and they have like ticking time bombs in their head, and they can only take so much.
Yeah, they're under tons of pressure, you know?
Unless you're Joey Votto, then you do it in a positive. Joey Votto's great with the fans.
I can't believe that dude's unsigned. That's crazy.
Well, he is. I mean, he's not what he once was, but I would still sign him. He's good to have on the team.
Well, here's the thing about Votto. I bet if the National League still let pitchers hit, because that guy's such a professional hitter for a pinch hit spot, he'd be getting Matt Stairs 1-year contracts. Be like, do we want this guy on our bench because it's such a good eye and such a good bat? He'd get on and he has some pop. Like, but now you're like, no, dude, everything's DH. Why do we need these professional hitters for these pinch hit spots?
Because he's still able to play well.
Dude, he had like 14 homers last year.
Yeah, he's not like he's not. It's not like he had a year where he hit one home run and
he hit
whatever.
200, but
that's 200 is terrible.
Joey Gallo's hitting like 198. He's in the league, so like, why do you care that he hits 202? He hit 14 homers in 65 games.
It's
like
kind of like
pace.
Joey Votto could be kind of like what they do in football or basketball. They kind of sign the guy just to be like a mentor kind of guy.
Yeah, dude, he's a good clubhouse.
He doesn't have to play every day, you know, or whatever. He could be a good mentor for the younger dudes on the team.
Good clubhouse guy for sure.
If he gets signed by another team, it'll be weird to see Joey Votto and not in a Reds uniform.
Yeah, that's what sucks. The Reds did him like that, but
professional teams don't give a shit about their athletes no matter what they say.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's crazy. These organizations, like Rendon. Like I guess I'll just go with the Rendon thing to see what you think about it. So his whole thing was his job for me. You know, season's too long. He starts saying this stuff like the dude doesn't love baseball, and I'm like, bro,
you don't say that shit.
There's no way you're gonna have how many or ever hundreds of dudes in MLB every year, and every single one of those dudes is gonna be like a George Will book where it's just nostalgia. I love baseball. And even if everybody was there when they're like, I love baseball, they remember the day they got drafted and signed. It was this beautiful thing. Like, even if you're making millions of dollars, that doesn't mean they're just getting sick and tired of the headaches and the trash talk that they're not performing. Whatever's irking them, anybody can get irked. Bill Gates can get irked. Doesn't matter what's in your bank account. Just be like, bro, I'm good with it. And the example I'd like to bring up where I promise you, if it wasn't a job or a paycheck to him, he'd have walked. But Vita Blue was like, I hate the owner. I hate the BS. I'm being treated like trash. I'm freaking awesome. I don't need this shit, but I got to fight with these dudes to get a paycheck. And if I go out there, I got to drive a truck. I bet to that guy, he was nasty, but I wonder how much Vita Blue enjoyed it because all the stuff circling around him that was just annoying as hell. I don't know.
even if it is just a job, you don't say that.
That's the key right there.
Because if as we were discussing earlier, if a player on the Rays was like, it's just a job to me, I'm like, well, why the fuck are you here? You don't. I take that as you don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
Like whether we win or not, you're just here to get a paycheck and go home and whatever.
Yeah, because that doesn't feel very good for your championship chances. If that character's in your clubhouse, you're like, I don't think we're gonna win the World Series this year.
I don't give a shit. This motherfucker burns to the ground.
Punching a clock. So from the fandom standpoint, like you don't want to hear that. All right, if you're driving a truck or whatever, like busting your butt for $60K a year, you don't want to hear that, dude. But I think it's real. So I was like, I appreciate the honesty. I bet that's real for that dude. He probably doesn't want to play anymore.
There's a lot of athletes who feel the same way. It's like, oh, it's just a job, but you don't say it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll say this because 99.9% of people never say it. I actually appreciate the sense that everybody's pooping on him, but it's like, dude was honest. The dude was just straight up honest. He's tired of it, dude. He doesn't like it anymore, and you want to poop on him. It's like, that dude didn't love it. There's been other dudes that didn't love it. They don't say it. But Ken Caminiti was like, do you regret taking steroids? He's like, nah. I took steroids, had an awesome year, then signed a $40 million contract. Tell me what was a bad idea about that. Dude was just straight-faced honest.
At that point, you don't really have a counter argument.
You can hate that, but that dude's you can hate dudes being real, but they're being real. So whatever, Rendon, just do Rendon. If you're over it, you're over it, man. I don't know. I don't really know. I've been looking at the clock. How long have we been rolling, bud?
I don't know. I forgot to look when we started.
Camera hasn't turned off. We could do a commercial break for MiLB Hatbilly and ATG and all the rest of the crew. Stay the franchise and Dutch Chattahoochee and everybody else out there. And I can go look at the camera.
Buckeye is not afraid of the moment. It's a shot. Let's go. That's going to score. I'm sending him. Ron Washington sending him. He's sending him. Let's go. All right, Buckeye with the RBI double on the play. Let's go.
That's a weird one. All right. We're back after commercial break. Dutch Chattahoochee segment 2.
So this will be our wrapping up final segment kind of thing.
Yeah.
Mainly. So this is mainly about the MLB All-Star Game, but just it can also apply to All-Star games in general.
Mm-hmm.
There are people who are like, yeah, they're stupid. We should get rid of them. And I'm like, no. As a fan, I think it's cool to see all the best players from that current point in time of that year play together. Whether or not they bullshit or whatever, the fact that you see them all together, that alone is cool.
There's some kick-ass photos that come out of that at the time, you're like, it's there. I know they're all there. But then when you look back and you saw, Griffey hanging out with, Barry Lark and all those dudes together, you're like, whoa. Fix the shorts. I'm going to throw some...
I just bumped my mic so it made me make it sound.
I'm agreeing with you. I don't know. The MLB All-Star Game is a fun weekend. I would love to go sometimes. One of those things I haven't been to. There's so many baseball events.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go, but it's so expensive.
College World Series. I mean, there's just some stuff out there that's just kind of on the bucket list.
The only thing I hate about the All-Star Game, the MLB All-Star Game, was when they used to have it to where, whoever won, they got a World Series home field advantage.
Yeah.
I thought that was stupid because even if your team didn't make it, you still impacted another team. The fuck?
It had significant impact over which you really had no control, but it's kind of like that anyway, even when it was alternating back and forth who had it. Isn't it now who gets the best record or whatever?
It's something like that. I'm not exactly sure. I just know the All-Star Game doesn't affect it anymore.
I got the All-Star page up. I'm going to throw some factoids at you.
Oh, yeah. The pennant-winning team with the better record, yeah.
That's how it is, right?
Yeah.
Which makes sense. That's that. It's meritorious. So
yeah, that's been according to my notes, it's been that way since 2017. Once they got rid of that stupid rule.
Yeah.
Because when they introduced that rule, I was like, God damn it.
So it was a money maker. They were like most things. It was going to be a one-time thing. Let's try this, and they did it, and they're like, "Oh, it was pretty successful. Let's do it again." And then the players got, the all-star players got, a cut of that. And they're like, we're not getting that big of a cut, so let's just do 2 of these things. They did it for the money. They did 2 All-Star games, and then the ownership group says, we'll just give you a bigger share and do 1 game. We don't want dudes getting injured.
Because I also think it's cool, like the festivities. Like, I think, like, seeing the All-Star game, the home run derby, all that's just fun. You know, it's not I don't know why people want to get rid of the All-Star game. Because the minute they do, there'll be people that be bitching, oh, they need to bring it back, blah, blah, blah. But I think it's fucking cool to see the best players play together. Even if they are fucking around, you know? Plus, it's cool to see your team represented. Like, hey, check it out. It's the Rays players.
This is funny. Tell me what you think of this. So the managers of the previous year's league pennant winners and World Series clubs are the managers of the respective All-Star teams. But then you run into the situation where a manager gets fired so he can be the manager and he's no longer even with the team. Bob Lemon was fired by Steinbrenner in 79. Or no, he was 79. He led him to the 81 World Series, but didn't make it to the All-Star game because he got fired.
You're out of here, Mr. Lemon.
You don't get to do the All-Star game. There you go. They also got and I remember this too. I don't know, like I'm pretty old, but you remember the ballots, the paper ballots?
No.
I actually lived in the era of the Kingdom when you could go get the paper ballots and like punch it with like a little pencil. You just get as many as you want. They're just stacks and stacks, just like Spike Owen, Jim Presley, Harold Reynolds. You just do all the Mariners, like pop, 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 and just stuff that ballot. And
every year I vote for the. Do you ever vote for the All-Star game?
I never do. I guess it's online.
I do every year. For the there are some years that I forget to, but for the most part, I try to vote every year. Get those race players on the team.
And people wonder why I hate the Mariners because I grew up with the Mariners. That's.
And the whole Tim Lincecum thing.
I don't know if I just waited. I gave up. The front office is cursed. They don't want it, in my opinion.
Again, that one year when they had Griffey, they had Alex Rodriguez, they had Martin. What's his name? Right, Edgar.
Yeah.
They had fucking Ichiro. They should have won the World Series that year, dude.
I was super psyched. Because they were kind of like they're about to like lose there's that whatever secret base video on the Mariners.
I love the secret base channel, dude.
That's good stuff. But like on how they're about to lose the stadium, and then they beat the Yankees in the playoffs. They re-voted and they said, okay, we'll build them a stadium because the stadium initiative didn't pass. But they're about to lose the Mariners, which maybe would be good for that organization to like get some new ownership or something. Like I think like if you didn't draft Lincecum, I just think you're cursed. Like that just was like the final like confirmation that you just do not.
But at the same time, man, he didn't know he was going to become what he did for that short while.
Oh man, it was. I mean, that's a tough one. His Pac-10 numbers were so insane, and they got to see him. Like they lived in the same town. They could go see him every day and be like, "This dude's insane. That's unhittable." So. Stuffing the ballot box. Bonnie and Mo should be happy to know the 2015 Kansas City Royals almost had the entire All-Star team be Royals because they stuffed the ballot box so hard. It was like 8 or 9 dudes.
That was the year they won the World Series, right? 2015?
Yeah. Salvador Perez, Lorenzo Cain, Mike Moustakas, Alcides Escobar, Eric Hosmer, Kendrys Morales, Alex Gordon, Omar Infante were leading on the balance in their respective positions. So the only non-Royal would have been Mike Trout. But they stepped in and re-monkeyed it. But All-Star game, all kinds of good stuff. Home run derby's always a blast. I love it. I don't care what they change the format to. I think that's cool.
Because now it used to be timings, right? And now it's like the other way around.
Yeah.
Is it timing now or is it outs? Timing, right?
Yeah, I think they do clock now. It used to be outs. I kind of like the outs.
I like the outs. It was like it takes too long. I hate that when people say it takes too long. Well, don't watch the fucking shit. Sorry about my language, but I get irritated with people and their stupid reasoning. Yeah. Don't watch it then.
Yeah, I mean,
if something like takes too long,
it's awesome.
That's like.
Go ahead.
That's like me saying this. I really love going to this state forever, but I don't like driving it. Well, don't fucking go then. Don't drive. Don't watch something if you don't like it.
Josh Hamilton's New York Yankee Stadium home run
Josh
derby?
Hamilton. Oh yeah,
That
he
was
went off.
insane. That was insane.
People will say too, like home run derby, like because they do it so hard that sometimes it affects their second half of the season and they don't hit any home runs. But I don't know,
Yeah,
man.
Hamilton was a freaky athlete. And that was the craziest round of home run derby I've ever seen.
I'm laughing because I'm imagining how he's like how he well, I'm not imagining. I'm thinking how he fell back on hard times again.
Yeah,
I'm like,
you know,
some people just it sucks, but they just can't get their shit together.
But All-Star Game, good times. I don't know. I'm sure they'll never, ever do away with it. It's a staple of all. But people who don't like All-Star Games is like, dude, everybody look, because like, if you're not in the All-Star Game, that's like 3 days off, 3 or 4 days off.
It doesn't
Players
have to
love
mean something to play it. Feel like it doesn't mean anything. That's okay.
You know what I probably knew, but then realized when I read the Wikipedia page, the ESPYs are always like the day after because there's no sports going. There's no NFL, there's no NBA, there's no hockey, there's nothing. And then like Major League Baseball just got done with it. So you can get all the athletes. I'm not counting like whatever, I don't know what professional soccer, football is going on there.
To me, the ESPYs are a fucking joke. I'm sorry, but
it is. They're selling advertising.
Stupid awards for things that don't mean it. Like they're just stupid awards.
Industry awards.
Yeah, which is cool to win one if you're one of the recipients, I guess. But as a fan, they're stupid.
I hope to go to some industry awards thing just for selling life insurance to people someday.
All I know is if there's a internet award for baseball shows, we should be up there.
IBWAA, Internet Baseball
We should be in the running. Probably won't win, but we should be on the ballot.
Should be in there.
We're like a fourth ballot Hall of Famer. We should be on the list. We should get invited. Because I think sometimes like shows are too overproduced, and it's like they're not having fun. This is a business. You know what I mean?
Most All-Star Game records. Most All-Star Game appearance seasons. Hank Aaron 21.
Damn.
Most All-Star Games. Hank Aaron 25. But that must have been because he was doing it when they were doing 2 a year.
Probably. I couldn't imagine someone playing 2 All-Star games.
Was Hank Aaron an All-Star literally every year of his career? I think he must have been. No, they hosed him. No, his rookie year he wasn't an All-Star, and then his last year he wasn't an All-Star. Bogus. Weak. Fans.
The home run king.
The true home run king.
The most home runs of all time. And if you think Barry Bonds has a record, we disagree. I was like, I'm just gonna be nice about it. We disagree.
Yeah.
I will sit down and argue, disagree, like talk to you, but yeah.
Here's one thing to be said. Okay, so the Rendon, it's like I'm tired of it. Whatever, it's just a job. Highly recommend. I had a hammer. I'm sure there's more autobiographies on Henry Aaron, but that's a good one. But a lot of memorable things in there about baseball. One thing he said, he got accused, of course, like the press is probably racist. They're like, man, he's lazy. Hank Aaron just whatever. He don't hustle anywhere around the field. He just does the minimum. Like he was a shortstop. Dude could steal a base. Like he was a total athlete. But he talked about that in his book. I can't remember exactly what he said, but he was like, they want you to like spring training, like run here, run there. You're like constantly doing all these extra sprints and stuff. He's like, I didn't really do that, man. I was just conserving energy, man. I didn't see any point in wearing myself out. And considering his longevity, that might be a good system to not work harder than you got to.
To play shortstop, you cannot be lazy.
No, dude, he wasn't lazy.
So that makes no sense that somebody would say that.
And Yogi Bear said you only got so many throws in that arm, dude. So all these dudes trying to like off-season it and throw 100 miles an hour and blow out their arms so they could do Tommy John surgery is like, maybe you should just take the chill pill unless you're doing like, hitting the cage or whatever regularly.
That's like baseball now. Everybody's want to be like, I could throw 102. Like, no. That's stupid to throw that hard. Like, relax. Like, what was wrong with throwing 90, 92, man? What was wrong with that?
Hank Aaron, 3-time Gold Glove, too. It sucks he only got one World Series in 57, man. That was like, he's on a lot of good teams with those Milwaukee Braves.
I like those throwback uniforms. See those blue and white Atlanta ones?
Yeah.
Those are sick.
Man, oh man.
I do like those Braves uniforms, like that gray, with the navy blue font, the old ass ones.
You got some nice. I'll look into some retro jerseys, but that's all I got, man. I like your All-Star segment. Let's throw some other facts at you, see what you like about it. We talked about All-Star uniforms, where it just says National League across the front.
I like the ways when they wore the team they were from.
Yeah.
That to me was like the coolest thing, to see like all the different uniforms on the field.
Yeah.
That was my favorite. I don't, like I said, the National and American League theme jerseys are cool, but nothing beats the team jerseys.
Yeah.
Because it's always cool to have the team hat with the little logo on the side kind of thing. And now I guess every year, wherever they're at, it's like All-Star themed for whatever city. I don't know where it's going to be at this year, but
All-Star cap. Because I never really I like team jerseys. I don't ever sought out an All-Star jersey or an All-Star cap.
I like the hat, but the jersey's like eh.
Yeah.
I'm more of a hat guy than I am a jersey guy, but
interesting stuff. Well, stuff the ballot box this season. Stuff the ballot box electronically, and then they have ties, of course, right? Ties in the All-Star game. I don't know.
I'm going to look up where the All-Star game is this year because I don't know.
Oh, it's in Texas, dude.
Oh, shit.
It's in Texas, man. You can go.
We should try to go for real. That'd be fun as fuck. We could take a little flight, be like an hour flight.
Check this out. This is crazy. I kind of maybe knew this, because it was like 80s, and I remember hearing it once. So the record between the two leagues in the All-Star game is the AL has won 383. Oh, no, that's a run advantage. AL has won 47. National League's won 42 or 44, and there's two ties according to this thing. But check this out. It goes, obviously the American League started off hot, but then the National League dominated from 1950 to 1987, going 33 wins, only 8 losses, and 1 tie. And that included a stretch from 1963 to 1982 when it won 19 out of 20, including 11 in a row. 20 whole games. The American League only won one of them flipping things.
Now the American League is the supreme conference.
I guess so. It's wild, wild stuff. Well, that's some good stuff, buddy. I like it. I like where you're coming from with all that.
So, random, but one of the segments is I'm going to bring these cards in. They're quiz cards that I got in a pack of cards. They're like from the 80s, and they have a bunch of quiz questions. I'm going to bring like a couple and ask you some quiz you.
Quiz me?
On baseball knowledge. And these packs are from the 80s, so like this shit's already old now. But they have like questions from like the 50s all the way up to like the 80s when I got the pack. So
I don't hear the bump music, the outro bump music. Let me try that.
I mean, I hear it. We always hear it on the recording. So
Bonnie would be good at that, but it might be cool asking trivia to somebody like me that doesn't know a whole lot.
I think it's funny to ask people who aren't too confident in their knowledge, because you need to get some like, but it's multiple choice, so I mean that helps.
Yeah,
it helps.
Multiple choice will definitely give me a chance, but yeah, I'll probably miss most of them. But bring in them trivia cards,
and I'll have you ask me some too. We'll do like 5 apiece or something.
Bring some,
and you'll see how much my lack of history in baseball back then will show.
I like it. Well, great show, but I think we cut it right time. Edit it down.